Welcome back, everyone. It's Kathy with Bridges Stamping. This week we're starting off Christmas in July with the Poinsettia Petals stamp set, which coordinates with the poinsettia dies. The dies are on page 165 and the stamp set is on page 92 of the annual catalog. And you can make some pretty great cards with either just the stamp set or actually just the dies. But working together, they make some amazing cards. And I'll be honest, this was one of my favorite stamp sets from the mini catalog last year, to the point where, if you can see, my stamps are very well used. They're stained. I've got masks in here, little die cuts I've saved. I made a lot of holiday cards with this set last Christmas. And I'm expecting to make a lot more for this holidays. So we'll start with showing you a model of what we're going to make, something a little bit similar, but not exactly. So this card, I'm using typically standard poinsettia colors, red and gold. Okay, so I thought it would be fun if we took this concept and we used some non-traditional poinsettia colors. So we're going to take a piece of white cardstock. Now I accidentally cut this a little smaller than I wanted, but I really liked the big border, so I decided to go with it. So the cardstock, it's 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and we're going to take some Misty Moonlight, and we're going to take some Smoky Slate, and we're going to basically build our own designer series paper. We'll start with the Smoky Slate, and this is, I think, the not quite the smallest poinsettia die, not die, stamp, but one on the smaller edge. So start with the middle, and then we're gonna stamp, not put it in the ink again, because we want a little bit dimension. This is a little hard. I might get my head in the camera here. And then we're gonna take it, and then I want to do some a stamp off. Now, this is the first time I've used it with the gray, so we're getting a very different look already from, this was actually used with Early Espresso, which is actually one of my favorite browns. It's like this really dark, rich brown, and you can use it when you don't want something as harsh as using the Memento Black. But I really am liking this gray effect. Now, every time you do this, because it's handmade, it's not going to look exactly the same as the last time you stamped it. And that's the fun, right? And having something handmade. So I'm just going to do one more poinsettia here. Okay. And then we're going to take, this is actually the coloring stamp. When I first got this set, I didn't realize this was meant to color that, that's meant to color that, and this is meant to color the insides of the poinsettias. So it's a two-step stamp. But we're not worried about being exact, right? This is, we're making our own little designer series paper. So like I said, don't worry about it being exact. We're just making a fun pattern for the background. I really do like Misty Moonlight. It's a dark blue, but it's not too dark. There's like this grayish into it, and where I thought it would go nice with this the Smoky Slate that I'm using. I may have gotten some ink where I didn't want it, but that's okay. As I said, we're just building some background. So we're gonna go back into that Smoky Slate, and we're just gonna be using, this is supposed to be like the center of the poinsettia, but I'm just using it to put some interest in the background. Okay. I'm not gonna actually do any of the leaves. We're just gonna use this. And it's actually kind of cool. It gives almost like a sort of snowflake effect. So let me just close my ink pads, because the last thing we want is ink where it's not supposed to be. Now, like this card, I'm going to use a metallic base, but instead of using the the gold, I'm going to be using silver. Now, the good news is in the new holiday mini catalog, we are bringing back the silver foil, the brushed metallic. There's also a green and red foil in that mini catalog. So hopefully getting you excited about that. That will be out August 3rd. I should have some pre-orders to show for you by the end of this month. I'm not the person who pre-orders something and then rush ships it. I like the anticipation. Also, I'm not going to spend that much money to rush. Okay, so I'm using the stamping seal because when you're gluing something to a foil paper or metallic paper, the liquid glue, if you smear it, if you you know, miss that first time, it gets everywhere and it's impossible to remove from that foil. Okay, so there. And then what I'm doing is I had cut a strip, and this actually I am going to be using my liquid glue, which took a walk on me. Here we go. Just hold that there a second. Okay, now I had already pre-cut the Happy Holidays, and I had pre-cut the die cuts, which have walked away on me. So we'll just start with this. I had pre-cut these in blue, but I can't find them now. So I'll just show you what they're going to look like when I find them and finish putting this card together. So I'm just cutting off the excess of this, and then I am using a Night of Navy base. For this. So these are very non-traditional colors when it comes to poinsettias, when it comes to holiday cards, but I thought it would be just very fun to have something non-traditional. And then this Happy Holidays came from this stamp set. There's a lot of great greetings in this stamp set, which are great. Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Warm Wishes from our home to yours, May Magic and Wonder bloom this holiday. Now the front is actually like, I think at 80%. This set is this sentiment is actually very large. The die cut is actually from the Tasteful Labels dies. It's still current in the annual catalog. It is a really good die set. If you're looking for some fun labels, it's really a good set to have in your arsenal. So we're just putting on some dimensionals, and we're going to put our Happy Holidays over here, center it, and when I can find the little blue, here we go, here's one. That's what happens, you have all your stuff in a pile and you forget where you put it. And here's two. Okay, so we're just going to glue them together. But I have ink on my hands and I don't want to get ink on my cards. So I'm just going to glue these two little die cuts together. And it's actually this itty bitty, there's actually two of them, so it makes it easy to cut out from the dies. Okay, and then I'm going to take a dimensional, but I'm going to put a little bit off to the side because we're going to be putting this over that label a little bit. So you can see it's a little bit off-centered. Put this right here. And then I pulled out these. Now these are the Silver and Clear Epoxy Essentials. They're beautiful. They've got this beautiful glitter to them. You can't see in the camera whatsoever. But they're actually one of my favorite items from the annual catalog. So we're just going to take that, put that there. I'm going to take another one. Let's put it in the center of the poinsettia, why not? Take one, put it here. And then we have this really pretty card. Actually, I love that. I love the blue and the silver, the non-traditional holiday colors, but yet it makes you think of winter. Now really quickly, I want to just show you some other cards I made. Also using the traditional colors, but instead of using that stamp, I color this with my stamping blends. So it's the same colors, but it's a different effect when you actually color than if you stamp it. Now using the dies, almost the dies alone, actually let me show you this one first. I love how this came out. I wanted to go non-traditional. So this is Highland Heather and silver. I used an embossing folder. I used the snowflake one, which I don't think is available anymore, but you could use any textured embossing folder, and it's that beautiful, and it's 3D. These would make some excellent for packages, like Christmas presents and things like that. And then, take it off camera. Then this one, I used the Designer Series paper. This is from, can't remember. It's current. It's the paper, the paper I called my HGTV paper. I'll put it in the description so you know. That's still current. The plaid is not, but there's some really great papers coming out that you can use instead. Any red and gold paper, I'm sorry, red and green you could use. I used gold, red foil, and this actually came from that Elegantly Suited set, that label punch, and I thought it made it look like a package, and I thought it was adorable. And once again, you always got to do the insides as well. So I hope you enjoyed first day of Christmas in July. Please subscribe. I got a lot more fun stuff coming. And stamp on.